In a shocking trade idea that's making waves, the Warriors might be faced with the tough decision of parting ways with a cornerstone of their dynasty. Imagine the heartbreak of seeing this legendary player, who has defined grit and determination for years, heading to an unexpected rival. What would this mean for our championship aspirations and the legacy of one of the game's greats? Let's break down what's at stake and what it could mean for the Dubs moving forward. The recent trade proposal suggesting that the Golden State Warriors send Draymond Green to the Houston Rockets has stirred up quite the conversation among fans. As a die-hard Warriors supporter, I can't help but feel torn about this potential move. Draymond has been the heart and soul of the Warriors for a decade, and the thought of him donning a Rockets jersey is honestly hard to swallow. The proposed deal would have the Warriors receiving Cam Whitmore, Steven Adams, Jeff Green, and some draft picks in exchange for Green and Lindy Waters III. From the Rockets' perspective, acquiring Draymond makes a lot of sense. They're currently sitting at a solid 32-14 record and are looking to bolster their roster for a deep playoff run. Draymond's defensive prowess would undoubtedly elevate their game. His ability to guard multiple positions and orchestrate the defense would be a perfect complement to their young core, especially with Alperen Sengun in the mix. But let's get real. This isn't just about the present, it's also about the future. For the Warriors, trading away a franchise icon like Draymond means signaling the end of their championship window. While Cam Whitmore and the draft picks may hold potential value down the line, they can't replace the veteran leadership and winning mentality that Draymond brings to the table. Sure, Whitmore is a talented young player, but is he really the equivalent of a lottery pick? And what does it say about the Warriors' ambitions if they're willing to part ways with a player who has been crucial in their title runs? Moreover, let's not forget the history here. Draymond has had his share of beef with the Rockets, and that rivalry adds another layer of complexity. Would he truly fit in with a team that has been a thorn in the Warriors' side for so many years? I can't help but think about the emotional toll this decision could have on both the players and the fans. The Warriors might argue that the expiring contracts of Adams and Green don't provide enough cap space for significant roster upgrades, especially if they're not planning on making a splash in free agency. To me, that's a gamble. If they trade Draymond now, they risk losing their identity as a team built on grit and defense. On the other hand, it's hard to ignore that the Rockets are one of the best defensive teams in the league right now. Adding Draymond to their roster could propel them further into championship contention, and I can see why they'd be eager to make this deal. But for the Warriors, the cost seems steep. If Draymond were to explicitly demand a trade, then maybe this deal would make sense. But historically, the Warriors have been a franchise that values loyalty and allowing their stars to dictate their futures, as we saw with Klay Thompson. Unless Draymond is pushing for a change, I just don't see this trade happening. So, the Golden State Warriors are making headlines with a blockbuster three-team trade that could reshape the landscape of the NBA. They're reportedly bringing in none other than Jimmy Butler, teaming him up with our beloved Stephen Curry. It's a move that's both thrilling and nerve-wracking. And as a die-hard Warriors fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Let's break this down. The Warriors have been struggling, floating around the lottery in the Western Conference, a place we simply don't belong, especially with a generational talent like Curry still in his prime. This trade could be the jolt we need. Jimmy Butler is a seasoned playoff warrior, a gritty competitor who elevates his game when it matters most. We've missed that intensity since Draymond Green's been sidelined with injuries. Butler's ability to guard multiple positions and thrive in high-stakes moments might just be what we need to make a serious playoff push. Now, sure, giving up a first-round pick and promising young talent like Moses Moody stings. But let's be real, the Warriors don't have the luxury of time. Curry's window is closing, and if we want to make one last run at a championship, this is the kind of bold move we need to make. Butler might be 35, but he still brings leadership, playoff experience, and that defensive edge that can make a world of difference. Imagine Butler and Curry on the court together, defensive nightmares for opposing teams, and a dynamic duo that could reignite our title hopes. But do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn about what we're giving up. Moving to the Miami Heat, they get Brandon Ingram, a young talented scorer who fits their system nicely. This is a significant shift for Miami, as they seem ready to move on from Butler. Ingram can create his own shot and provide the versatility the Heat need. And let's not forget about the additional pieces they're bringing in, like Kyle Anderson and Moses Moody. This trade gives Miami a fresh start and keeps them competitive in the Eastern Conference for years to come. But then there's the New Orleans Pelicans. They're diving headfirst into a rebuild, and moving Ingram is a clear signal of that. They're acquiring Andrew Wiggins, who still has value as a two-way player, along with Gary Payton II and Alec Burks. None of these guys are franchise changers, but they can complement a young core and provide much-needed depth. The Pelicans are finally making moves that reflect a long-term strategy. And while it might not yield immediate results, it's a step toward a more coherent future. For the Warriors, this trade isn't just about the now. It's about setting ourselves up for one last championship run. Yes, we're taking a risk, but with Curry's brilliance and Butler's playoff pedigree, we have the potential to be a terrifying force in the playoffs. Every Warriors fan knows how quickly things can change in the NBA, and this could be our chance to reignite the fire of our dynasty. But will Butler mesh with our culture? Can he handle the pressure? Those questions linger in the air. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Is this the right path for the Warriors? Can we trust that these changes will lead us back to the promised land? Let's engage in this discussion because our voices matter. If you're as passionate about the Warriors as I am, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the latest developments. And make sure to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. This is a pivotal moment for our team, and I can't wait to see how this all unfolds. Let's keep the conversation going, Warriors fans.